Hi guys, Eljammi over here. For all my new subscribers, here I cover everything about beauty, skincare, makeup, and more. And for all my returning subscribers, welcome back. Thank you for coming back. Today I have an exciting video which is going to be all about lifting makeup, lift that face, snatch that face visually with makeup. You know, all my tips and tricks, plus foxy look. We're gonna go all in. So if you want to know how to lift your face visually with makeup, then make sure that you keep on watching. And now we're gonna go straight up into the eyebrows. I have my foundation on. So the eyebrows is one of the first things that changed my game. People are asking me on Instagram if I did Botox or what did I do that, you know, makes me look more lifted and so on. And as I said in so many different videos before, that the only thing that I did, I shaved the edges of my brows and now I draw them myself, so I draw them higher. And now I also did brow lamination, so that's also something else that makes my eyebrow look more lifted. But that's like such a big trick when it comes to lifting makeup look. The first thing I do, I kind of just like pull my eye just a little bit, just so I can see in which direction I want to draw the line, because the whole point is that I don't want to follow my natural line. I just want to draw it a bit more straight, so this way, that's why it gives me like this foxy, elevated, snatched look. And then I just fill in a little bit here. If you want like a whole detailed look on how I do my eyebrows, then you can head to that video and watch it there. But that's like a #1 trick that honestly changes the whole freaking game, I promise you. So if you're not afraid, try that. What started the whole idea of this video was actually this thing that I'm going to talk about next, which is the concealer part, because I showed the lifting tip on my Instagram, on my Insta stories, and people were like, oh my god, you should film the whole video, you should talk about it more. Like, concealer is going to be the next thing. I'm using Hourglass. Now I'm using in the shade Cedar. So here's the thing, when it comes to like this whole lifting thing and this trick that I'm going to show you next, you want to like use a concealer that is usually a little bit of a shade lighter than the normal one that you would use, because you kind of want those areas like really brightened, because that's what's going to help you to give like this whole illusion of a lifted look. Flat brush like this. The reason why I'm using a brush instead of using like a concealer brush, just because it's gonna help me to kind of place the concealer in specific areas where I want it to be exactly. Here's the thing, so I'm gonna apply it right over here, like right at the edge, and then the next area where I'm going to apply it, and I'm going upwards, right? So I'm not going straight up or like lower, I'm going like really up, as if I wanted to meet with the edge of my brow. And then I'm just placing it a bit down so I can do the blending after. Area is going to be right under my lip, and again, I want it to be all in an upward kind of motion. I'm going to put it under my cheekbone. You want like a super, even like an illusion of like a lifted cheekbone, what you can do, you can take that concealer a bit higher than where you would usually put it, because usually we'll put the concealer right under the cheekbone, but sometimes you can take it even a bit higher, so then your bronzer would be higher as well. So that's what I'm going to do. Actually, I'm just taking it a little bit higher than what I would usually do. Like I can feel it, it's almost like on my cheekbone. Then I'm grabbing the beauty blender and I'm making sure that I'm very like light-handed. I'm not gonna go too hard on it, and you have to make sure that your beauty blender is damp, not dry, okay? It has to be damp. So the next thing what I'm going to use, I'm going to use a creamy concealer as well. So this one is from Huda Beauty Tantour in medium shade. I'm first applying it on my hand just because I noticed that it works better. It kind of lets the product heat a little bit, so then it kind of doesn't look as patchy. And then I'm taking a brush that is quite like, you know, wide, And I'm being again super light-handed, and I'm applying the bronzer right above that line. You see, like, and I'm going really upwards. Make sure that you also get under your jawline to really have that snatched jawline, because I guess that's what we all want, right? Grabbing Laura Mercier translucent powder, and I'm just focusing it on these areas right here. And I'm not gonna bake for too long because I get patchy when I bake for too long. I'm just gonna mostly apply it on the areas where I apply the concealer, just to really seal it in and add a little bit of color. While this whole action is happening, which is not going to happen for too long, I'm gonna directly hit into my eyes, and I'm starting with a concealer from NARS in shade Cafe, and I'm actually gonna apply that as the base for my shadows. Going to play as my transition color, and again, I'm taking it upwards as well. It's falling in these areas, so again, my eyes look very foxy, lifted. I mean, these little like tips and tricks, that's what creates and puts the whole look together. And Hoola Benefit bronzer on the same areas where I applied the creamy bronzer, just to seal it all in and add again more color. Once that's all done, I'm just gonna apply blush as well, and again, I'm focusing it a bit higher than I usually would, right on top of the bronzer almost, but kind of at the edge. And again, I'm taking it all upwards. I'm just gonna set all that color that I applied with my bronzy concealer, and I'm using Young Wild and Cruelty Free palette from Tarte Cosmetics. Focusing upwards, I'm just placing it everywhere where I placed the concealer. And then the next thing, what I'm going to do, I'm gonna take a darker shade, like a dark brown, and it's a shadow. I'm gonna like place my liner with the shadow, and I'm just going to do a thin liner right at the edge. So it's not gonna be a whole liner, it's gonna be right at the edge, super thin and classy. And then I'm gonna focus the other line right at the beginning of my eye, because that's gonna give me like this eye look. I'm not making it like very long or dramatic. That's why I love using a shadow for this, because it's so much easier to control. And you know, if you're gonna use like a liner or whatever, if you make one mistake, you have to remove it and then redo it. With the shadow, it's like super easy. You know, you made a little mistake, cling, or like you just smudge it or like blend it in, and that's it. The next jig is up, and this is the last tip that I have when it comes to this Foxy lift and makeup, is all about lashes. So this that you need to use for this kind of look has to be natural, and it kind of has to be almost like from the middle to the edge, or even at the edge. The reason is why you have to use like more natural lashes is because heavy lashes or like super dramatic lashes are going to kind of lower your eyes, and that's like totally not something that you want to do when you're going for this look, because you want everything to be lifted, foxy. Just apply them from the edge to the middle. And that is it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I have put all my tips and tricks, so that's how it looks. So if you like this video, make sure you put thumbs up, comment down in below section, and I'll see you very soon.